The main reason why people say this generation is cooked because of these new parents, bro. These young kids nowadays have no guidance, and it's actually sad. And it's because these parents want to be friends with their kids and act like that's their homeboy and homegirl. Like, they don't get that belts and ass treatment no more because the system made that a crime.
Let him cook.
I feel like back in the day, kids had a certain amount of structure, you know? Because they knew if they did something bad, they was getting an ass whooping as soon as they came home. And it's a PSA to my mom. I was not talking about her. My mom is not a child beater.
You know, it's crazy when you see kids have more common sense than adults. Because that's not the way it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be teaching the kids, not the kids teaching you. He knows a lot of these kids are out of control because of the parents. The kids don't have no structure. They don't have understanding of repercussions. My child can do whatever they want to do. They ain't got to listen to you. And then once they grow up and they become part of the system, the wrong part of the system, I should say, then you'll see these parents. My child was a lovable parent. They light up the room everywhere they went. They put a smile on everybody's face. No, the hell they didn't. Let's stop the lying. Let's stop the lying. No, they didn't. You wanted them to, but they didn't. Look, at the end of the day, you do you. But I am telling you, your kids need to have structure when they're growing up, because once they hit that real world, they're going to wish, and you're going to wish, they had structure. They knew repercussions of their actions. I knew when I was growing up, if I did anything, I thought about the repercussions first before I did anything. And is it worth it? And of course, I was a kid. I did some crazy stuff. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I didn't. But I ain't do nowhere near what these kids are doing these days. Take social media out of it, because there was no social media when I was growing up. I did nothing nowhere near what these kids are doing today. Nothing. And to hear and see the way these kids act and talk and how they dress and all that good stuff, it's like, whoa, what? I knew if I got in trouble, like this boy here said, I knew I had an ass whooping coming. Not just from my mom, from my uncles, my grandma, my aunties, my older cousins, my neighbors. Because back then, it took a village to raise a child. That's why back then, you had kids with some common sense. They knew what to do and what not to do. Nowadays, don't you tell my child what to do. My child can do whatever they want to do. Now look, you got teachers quitting schools, don't want to teach your kids nothing because you don't teach these kids to have structure and to listen to authority. You don't teach your kids nothing. You send them off to school, you think school is a daycare. You think you don't have to do anything. You don't have to show them or teach them nothing. Even when my daughter is not at school, I try to teach her life stuff. I try to go at it in stages because she's still young. But, you know what I'm saying? The parents is the child's first teacher. That's it. And without y'all kids trying to get these kids, without y'all parents, trying to get these kids structures and try to teach them and try to show them the way of life, look what we have now. Goddamn 5-year-olds in daycare and stuff trying to listen to sexually provocative music. I've done videos about this. It's like, seriously? There was no way I could have listened to that stuff when I was these kids' age. I didn't start really listening to that stuff until I was like maybe 16, 17 years old. You got kids nowadays not even in double digits. Their age is not even a double digits yet, listening to sexually provocative music. And you got some of these female rappers and male rappers, not just the females, but male rap. You got some of these rappers that's even coming out saying they don't want their kids listening to it. So it's like, you know it's bad. If you don't want your kids listening to it, why would you put that out there? It made no sense. No sense. Look, at the end of the day, this kid's speaking nothing but facts. I like that sound effect said, let him cook. Because these kids don't have no structure, and it is sad. Because these parents want to be they child's friend. These parents want to compete with their kids and stuff like that. I know I had my chance to be young and doing some crazy stuff, wild and stuff, running around the streets playing basketball, hanging out with my friends, having sleepovers and stuff. I had my time. My time is up. It's time for me to be an adult, go to work, pay bills. Now let my child be a child. Let her grow up. I had my chance. That's how it goes. Now it's time for my child to have her chance. So forth and so on. I would never compete with my child. I would never try to be my child's friend. I'm her parent. I'm her teacher, her guide through life. That's what I am. And that's it. You see what I'm saying? But no, y'all don't do that these days. Y'all want to teach y'all kids. Tell that teacher I said to go to hell. Tell that teacher I said F you. She can kiss my... I'm trying to watch my words. Too late for that, but still. That's what y'all be teaching y'all kids. And then when that kid hit the real world, they're going to wish they would have had some structure and they would have listened. And you're going to wish you would have teach them structure and would teach them to listen. Hey, but that's on y'all.